my family every month. I've been to go.
I'd have it all, and I thank God every day for the girl He sent my way. But I know the things He gives me, He can take away. And I hold you every night, and that's a feeling I wanna get used to. But there's no man as terrified as the man who stands to lose you. Oh, I hope I don't lose you. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please don't take. I found my mind, I'm feeling sane. It's been a while, but I'm finding my faith. If everything's good and it's great, why do I sit and wait till it's gone? Oh, I tell you, I know I've got enough. I've got peace and I've got love, but I'm up and I thinking I just might lose it all.
Welcome. We'll get started in a minute.
Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. Don't take these beautiful things that I've got. Please stay. I want you, I need you, oh God. I need these beautiful things that I've got.
All right, welcome. Just giving it a few more minutes before we get started with the webinar. Today's webinar is about IT project management, getting your career started in it, and everything that you need to know so that you make the right choices, the right decisions, take the right direction, and more importantly, that you're getting valid information instead of Googling on 100 or looking through a billion different Google pages. So sometimes it takes everyone just a few more minutes, minutes to join. It is 12:02. We'll get started around 12:05. But think about the questions that you have and what you may want to ask me. This webinar is supposed to be for you. It's supposed to help you make sure that you get the clarity that you need so that you make the right decision for your career, right? The goal is a job you love, earning the amount of money that you absolutely deserve, and like living your best life, essentially. So that's absolutely what you want to do. And that's my goal today, to provide that clarity for you. So let's give it a few more minutes and then we'll get started.
Now
right, so 12:05, welcome everyone. This is being live streamed, so there's probably people watching from all over the world. I'm excited to be here, bring you this webinar. This is going to be a series of webinars every 3 weeks, and every 3 weeks I am going to be bringing a new topic that you need to learn about and stay updated with the world of IT project management, and actually just project management as a whole. So for the beginners, for those that are not familiar with who I am and who 3T Career Institute is, let's make sure that I introduce you to our school as well as to, the person that's talking to you right now. We are a authorized school and a set of coaches that are here to help you build your best career in project management. And when I say best, I really mean like a job that you love with the amount of money that you're making that is up to par within your skill set and knowledge. We have been established in 2019, but my experience goes way before that. But as a school, we started in 2019 and have helped a lot of people get into project management. So it is managed and operated by me, MJ Bianchi here. I am, the mastermind behind the school and just really building an institution that is going to help people just feel good about who they are, without running it like a corporation, because there's a lot of training schools that just want to take your money and not really give you anything. There are a lot of expert coaches in here. I have my backup of coaches who are in IT and AI who are building and creating their own software. And so my network is huge. And then combining those expert coaches, you're tapping into a network that is going to introduce you to the world of project management. Our goal is to remove career confusion, help you build your skills, and for you to earn to your top potential. That is the goal. So, think about the things that you want to ask me. I want this to not be this, super dry webinar. I want it to be interactive. Think of me as your friend who you, respect in this world of project management. And what questions do you have, right? Think about it. Today's webinar is, again, I'm all about efficiency, being practical, and removing all of the nonsense we don't need out of the way. So what we're going to cover today is what is a project. If you are completely new to the world of project management, we've got to start from the basics to build your foundation of what is a project and why do we need project managers? Why are they essential? What do project managers do? What are the essential skills of project management or of a project manager? What are the salaries and what is the career outlook look like? And then finally, you might, be thinking about how do I get started in project management? Just to do a really quick poll, can you let me know where you are in your project management journey? You can say, I'm just getting started, I have a little bit of experience, or maybe you're a novice, right? Maybe you've been in this field for a little while and you're thinking about my next thing is certifications, or my next thing is to move up within project management. So I would love to know that. Put in the chat for me or in the comments if you're seeing this live, so that I can sort of help navigate and streamline this webinar towards your needs and that I'm addressing, kind of where you are in this world of project management. For starters, let's talk about what is a project. Now, the goal here is, right, if you're getting into project management, you have to know what the definition of a project is and be able to just very confidently say that a project is a temporary effort that has specific goals, that has a start date and an end date. And it has some constraints like time, budget, and scope. So that is the true definition of a project. Now, projects don't go on forever. And if they went on forever, then that means that they're not projects. If a project doesn't have a budget, it's not really a project. If a project is kind of, isn't time bound, then it's not a project. So you want to check back to your knowledge of, is this a project? And here's why this is also important, understanding the definition, because it could be that you already have experience working on projects, but because you didn't know the definition, you didn't associate it with project management. I try to keep my examples really simple. I'm a mom of 3 and I'm always planning something. And one of the things that I always plan is birthday parties. So I said, why not give you that birthday party example and bring in project management within it? So thank you so much for putting in your expertise within the chat. I appreciate that. So examples of projects include planning a birthday party. The goal is to host a fun and successful birthday. Perfect, right? You have a timeline. Hopefully you have a budget. I don't know if there are any billionaires or, on this call, but I know that I'm not a billionaire. So I have a budget and I have a specific timeline for my birthday parties. And then you got to think about your guests, the venue, food, decorations, entertainment. And the other aspect of what makes a project is that it has to be unique. It has to be unique product, service, or result. If you think about it, no birthday party is going to be the same every year. There's always going to be some kind of a change. So if you are like a party planner or an event planner, that's all project management. So I see that I have some people here from Orlando. Welcome. Dalal is saying that he's got, or they have 3 years of experience in project management and now looking for a new job as a project manager role. So awesome. I think this webinar is going to help you. 20 years in logistics field, never held the official PM title, looking to be a SME and project management. I love that, Mason, right? I love that you're connecting your world into project management. And so we'll talk about that as well. So why is there a need for project managers? Essentially, kind of like what Mason said, he said, I've been doing project management, but I don't have the official title. And we're not going to get into that today. But it's a lot of us do project management and we're not given a title, but essentially a person who knows how to manage projects is needed. Because without a project manager, if we're talking about a birthday party, guests may not get the invitation, right? The cake may arrive late, or there might not even be cake. The budget may be overspent. We never want that. And that happens on projects all the time. And there's no backup plan, like weather changes or, or maybe possibly a second venue if the first one cancels. So a project manager then is going to plan, have backups, and make sure that we're ready no matter what complexities come our way. With a project manager, you're going to have projects that are very well planned, organized, and that they're executed smoothly. So if you're thinking back to, oh, you know what, I have worked on projects and this is something I do, but my title is an administrator. Well, it's because the organization may not want to pay you the title of a PM because we are expensive, right? So that means you want to go to a place that's going to value the skills, the experience, and the knowledge that you bring in. And so, with a project manager, you're going to anticipate all of your risks up front. Part of it is that risk identification that happens early on a project. And at the end of the day, the party's enjoyable. It's stress-free. That's exactly what we want and why event managers are hired or why project managers are hired for larger IT implementation projects or why even, if you believe it or not, big brands like Gucci, LV hire project managers to market things for them, to release a new product, release a new line. So there's project management in every field that you can think of, and the beauty of having experience in project management or knowing what project management is, you can choose your industry. You can go wherever you like. So what do project managers do? Some of your core responsibilities as a PM will be to define objectives. And what does that really mean? It means hey, what do you need done? Because we can't we can't get you everything, so we need to prioritize the things that you do want to get done. You're gonna have to create a timeline of some sort, do budget management, risk management, and also team coordination, bringing everyone together so that they are focused on what needs to be accomplished, the vision, the mission of the project. Now, I do want to pause here and I want to say, project management isn't for someone who is an introvert. I'm sorry to say that, right? Or maybe you have what do I want to say? Like maybe you have parts of you that are an extrovert and then parts of you that are introvert. I think I'm kind of like that. I'm an extrovert, but then like once I'm done being an extrovert, I'm super tired and I just want to go under the blanket, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about this is not a position for someone who doesn't want to speak up, doesn't know how to doesn't have communication skills, doesn't know how to confront like a situation. This because, defining objectives means you're going to talk to your customer and they're going to say, I want everything under the moon. And for you to be like, well, you have given me a budget of, $20,000 and you want this project done in 6 months. Unfortunately, I cannot do that for you. So those are some of the things that a PM has to do. And you learn, right? You learn as you get your experience within project management. So, for example, when we're talking about a smaller project for a birthday party, you're going to set a date. You're going to ask, your spouse or whoever, if you're the person creating the event, what is your budget? You're going to manage the people. Who else is going to help me with making sure that this birthday party is a success? And that's part of project management, getting your team to focus on, what we're going to deliver to the customer, as well as having a backup. And also knowing that if a project isn't really viable, to stop, right? Stop the project altogether. And again, that's another reason you need a PM. PM cannot always be a yes there. You need to be the person that says, no, can't do that. No, that's not possible. Sure, let me take a look at it. Let me go ahead and assess it. Let me analyze how these changes are going to impact the project. Because, my kids, for example, they want like a mermaid in the pool. And I'm like, oh, mermaid's going to be like $300 for like 30 minutes. No, that's not within my budget. So then what's my backup for having a mermaid in the pool, right? I'd come up with something else that's as exciting, but within a certain budget. And that's kind of what you want to be able to do as a PM. And it does require leadership. It does require self-confidence. It does require your ability to trust what it is that you're saying. And once you build that confidence around your skills and knowledge, when you go to an interview, it's gonna come out. Your confidence and your ability to manage projects is gonna come out. So the other reason I absolutely love project management is because it actually pays really well. Believe it or not, even at that entry level, you're seeing some entry positions starting at that $70,000, right? These are average salaries. It really depends where you live and how you're showcasing your skills and what the position is. Mid-level PM, and I can vouch for this. When I started as a PM, or I shouldn't say a PM, when I started in project management, I went from making $45,000 a year to $75,000 a year with minimal amount of PM experience. And I'm talking about many moons ago. I'm old. Mid-level, 90,000 to 115, absolutely right. That's around what you're going to make. Senior level is going to be $120,000 and more. And I've seen PMs make a lot of money. So I've seen senior levels go up to about $180,000 to $190,000. And then I've seen agile and IT PMs make in the $350,000. And I've seen it all. I've seen PMs make a lot of money, especially if you have some technical skills and you have those core communication skills, core leadership skills, yes, you could absolutely make it. As long as you understand what is your value, what do you bring in, right, to the table. So Robbie is saying, I'm here to see what software and platforms and websites you're making Gantt charts in. Canva, hoping to get more ideas into production this year as well. Oh, I love that. Yeah. Canva can be tricky because all those formatting you have to do. Robbie, I would think like you can utilize like Monday.com or even not PowerPoint, but MS Project. You can download a 30-day trial and create your Gantt chart. You can also use Microsoft Sheets, but a Gantt chart may be a little tricky creating in Canva. I also know that PowerPoint actually has a milestone and Gantt chart feature that you can add to it. So I would look into that, and that might be really helpful for you. In terms of the birthday party, if you were to hire someone who managed birthday parties every year, that would be something where it does earn people somewhere between $50,000 to $75,000 a year. Events management is a huge thing. Post-COVID, 5 years into this world that we live in now, people want to be outside. So there's more events happening, lots of money to be made there. If you're new to this world, and I see some of you really aren't that new, but if you're trying to enter, I'm going to speak to everyone who's here. If you're trying to enter the field of project management, you have to learn the basics. It's not enough to just, have your experience or a little bit of experience. You do have to get some kind of a education, start researching, reading books, watching videos. I offer a fundamentals of project management class for like $9.99, just because it's just like very basic. And then you want to start gaining experience. One of the things that I saw in my community, I live in Tampa, Florida, is that we have a community, what is it called? A community garden where, different people grow different kinds of vegetables. And I was thinking about that. I said, you know what? That's a project. That is a project. Helping to stand up a community garden is a project. The operation of, once the project stood up, the operation of a community garden would not be a project, the day-to-day of it, but standing up a community garden is a project. If you are volunteering and you are doing like certain programs for the homeless or for teens at risk, you're doing things with your church or, whatever religious organization you're part of, that all counts as your as project management experience. Sure, you didn't get paid for it, or maybe you did, but you can add that to your resume. And you need to learn some IT tools. For example, Trello. You can download a free version of Trello. You can download a 30-day subscription of Jira, Atlassian. Do it. You can download 30 days of Microsoft Project. Get into it. Like, if this is the world you want to be in, and this is the world where you want to make your money, then know it in and out. And then get certified, right? How many of you here have your PMP or have a certified Scrum Master certification? What are the certifications you have? Put that in here. Okay, perfect. Dalal, yeah. So is it a disappointment if you are an introvert? It's not that I wouldn't say it's a disappointment, but what I'll tell you is that with a lot of introvert PMs, you end up getting blamed for things that happen on the project. And because, if you're an introvert, and you don't like to communicate and you're not addressing things at the forefront, that could be a risk to your project. Most likely, someone who's an introvert, who's not addressing things, is not in the grind of their team doing the work, something's going to fall through. And unfortunately, PMs like that, you're not going to be able to sustain a long career in leadership, because leadership requires that you face things and you ask the questions. Now, what I want to ask for those that think they're introverts is it that you're an introvert, or is it that you don't have confidence in your abilities? Because that's two separate things. There was a time where I really didn't know how to speak up, but I learned how to speak up. There were times where I did not have leadership skills, but I learned how to have leadership skills. So you want to take a moment and really analyze that for yourself. Am I an introvert, or do I need to build my confidence? Because if you build your confidence in a certain discipline within project management, will you then come out of your shell, right? Like whoever we are, we could be an introvert, but we can also be an extrovert. If we're an extrovert, we can go back to being an introvert. It's a choice. It's absolutely a choice. So if you can, make a different choice for yourself if you think that you are an introvert. Getting certified is key. So I see one person has a PMP. If you don't have a PMP, you don't have your CAPM, you don't have your Agile certification, you might want to start. If you don't know whether you qualify or not, we can talk about that. But apply for your entry-level jobs, create that resume, make sure you pinpoint the kind of things you've done, community projects, whatever you've done, bring that inside of your resume. Really showcase who you are within your resume. One of the things I'm seeing with PMs is they're shy about talking about who they are. I love, like, I don't know if it's a first child kind of situation with me, but man, I love telling people how I can help them solve a problem. And they love that I can solve a problem for them. So think about it that way. Maybe less about showing off, but hey, I can really help an organization solve their process issues they're having. I can bring in my knowledge and skills and really organize a project from start to finish. Is your resume saying that? Are you saying that you're making some kind of an impact or have made an impact? Or is your resume a bunch of bullets that says nothing? So go back and look. Go back and look. So what skills transfer to project management? If you are completely new, or even if you're not new, and maybe this is some of the stuff you have failed to put inside of your resume, is, are you a good planner and organizer? Talk about it, right? Because structuring tasks is a key element of project management. Communication. Are you a good communicator? Coordinating with the team. Getting the team to trust you is another skill. I should have a webinar on that. Time management. When something is due today at 5 p.m., it has to be submitted at 5 p.m. today. If it's going to be delayed, there should have been communication that there will be a delay. And that's part of, that time management and communication. Complexity, problems, unexpected issues is the second name for project management. Things don't always go as planned on projects. And you can't go from one problem project to another project thinking that that other project is not going to have problems. Every organization has its problems. Every project has its problems. You've been hired to help them solve that problem. Going to another project doesn't mean that things are going to be any better. It's just a different set of problems you have to deal with. It's the mindset where you have to say to yourself, the complexity is part of the project. I'm going to utilize my leadership skills, my communication skills, my planning and organization skills to navigate through any complexity that might come my way. This is where you use adaptability and agility. So, and when we're talking about a birthday party, this is where you are handling a last-minute cake delay, delegating tasks so that you're not overwhelmed. How many of you can say that you've been so overwhelmed by all the work you've been given? Is it that you've been given that, or is it that you can't delegate? as a project manager, right? And so really distinguishing between the two. And then also managing guest expectations. What about managing at a birthday party, extra people that show up? Did you account for more food or order extra? Or what is your backup if you do need more food? What's your backup if a kid is allergic to, say, the icing on a cake? Have we talked about allergies? So when it comes to a PM, you're asking questions that nobody else is thinking about. And that's a distinguishing factor between a good PM and a great PM. So the goal for me is to make you a great PM, and you're going out there and really showcasing who you are. And so now we get to talk a little bit more. I see that most of you put your questions in the chat, which I appreciate. Thank you. What project management challenges, if you have worked on projects, are you facing? And then, or tell me about the PM industry that you are interested in. And I also have some resources for you so that you're staying in touch with me. And what I have for you is I do run a group on Facebook. And the fact that you registered for this webinar is great because you're going to get a lot of my emails anyways. This is a Facebook group I run that where I post a lot of different resources, and you'll be aware of the webinars coming up. All right. So Weiss is saying I'm interested in transportation projects, and then Dalal is saying I'm interested in construction projects. Okay. So again, it's kind of looking at what are the skills needed for example, transportation projects. Is it IT skills that are needed? Is it, transportation in terms of solving transportation issues within a certain industry? But either way, it's going to require for you to understand how to plan a project, how to plan for risks, how to plan for procurement, how to plan for communication, how to plan your budget, how to plan your scope. It doesn't matter which industry, you're still going to have to learn those technical skills of a PM that will help you manage really any kind of project. The distinguishing factor between transportation projects and construction industry, for example, is the compliances that you have to deal with. Transportation has its own compliance and standards through the federal government and the state, as well as some ISO or CMMI standards that you have to meet. So know your industry, know the rules and regulations, know the compliances you have to adhere to, and then now that's going to make you a project manager who understands the industry that they want to be in. So focus on that industry and become the master of what that industry is all about. Mason saying, looking to expand my reach and implementation project management. Implementation, like IT implementation, Mason? Okay. I mean, implementation, you can implement a product like a, like a non-IT product into an organization, or a IT product into an organization. An IT product into an organization means that, for example, Amazon has decided now that they're going to integrate ChatGPT, which I'm sure they already have, or some kind of AI into their websites to help consumers be smart shoppers, right? And so that's an IT implementation. You take a unique software that's out there, you try to bring it into Amazon, so you have to think about the architecture, you have to think about automation, workflow, API, stuff, MuleSoft. So now you have to know the software development lifecycle. Now, if we're talking about product implementation, that's non-IT. Say that, you have an office that wants to change, instead of using paper towels to hand dryers. That's an implementation, right? And so now you have to have a plan in how are you going to remove the paper towel boxes that are there, and then how are you going to then implement the new hand dryers, which is going to, you have to meet electrical compliances, you have to make sure that the grids can hold all of this new electricity that's coming into the buildings, you have to make sure that safety measures are in place, you have to make sure that it's communicated to the entire office that that, you know, things are switching. We're not going to have paper towels anymore. And you're going to have some haters, and you have to learn how to manage that. So implementation, they follow the same processes with the exception of some are very industry specific, things that you have to know, like APIs, firewalls, servers, test environments, and things like that, where else are implementations where it's just a standard project management implementation. So hopefully that was helpful. All right, good question. Good question. Robbie says, in your experience, who do you report to as a PM? Executive, CIO, or IT directors? As a PM, you're most likely going to report up to a PMO, some kind of a program management office, or a program manager, or a deputy program manager. A direct report. But everyone else that you've mentioned, you report to them as well. But a direct report would be someone that has a title of a program manager. If it's structured that way, if you're working for a small business and you're a PM, an IT PM, for example, you might directly report to the CIO. And I've done that. I've been an IT implementation project manager. I had my manager, and then I did a project where I skipped over my manager and I worked directly with the CIO because that was they wanted me to work on that project. So, and then the only thing I did, I reported directly to the CIO, but I reported back to my manager on the progress of the project. So it could go a lot of different ways. As a PM, you just have to understand the political aspects of those relationships, that even if you do have a manager that you're supposed to report to, make sure that you are still nurturing that relationship and you're not burning any bridges, so that, you know, they can be your backup in case you need them. The other thing I was going to give all of you is if anyone here is looking to just build their confidence and go out there and really manage these, you know, great, amazing projects that are so impactful, but you just don't know where to start, you don't know what to do, and you want me to look at your resume and you want me to sort of help you and guide you, I do offer 20-minute career strategy sessions. I'm putting that link in there for you within the chat. So set up a call, right? And then make sure you have your resume ready, and let's go over it. And I can kind of help you and guide you and tell you what specific certifications you need. What are the courses that are going to help you ensure that you get into that six-figure salary? Because there's a lot of money to be made out there in project management, and you definitely want to be part of that. It's a great profession, and honestly, it's recession-proof. During COVID, I had a job, you name it. I've always had an opportunity to work as a PM or within the profession, even teaching others, at times where people were getting laid off or prices were very high. You know, we're going through a recession. So it is an amazing profession to be in. So I gave you 2 links in the chat. One is my Facebook group where, you know, I interact with you. 2 is my link. Let's talk about what it is that you need and how I can help. So did you guys or girls, I don't know if there are any girls in the webinar today, but did you all enjoy this webinar? Any questions, comments, thoughts? That's a great question. What are the known things that a PM is not responsible for and that can be mistaken? You are not responsible for overarching strategy of an organization. To create an overarching strategy for the organization. You are not responsible for creating or coming up for the business case of why a project should get started. All of that needs to come from leadership. They give you the language, they give you the why they think a project should be initiated, but you don't come up with those objectives and key results as a project manager. As a PM, you are responsible for communicating with the corporate side of the team, and you're responsible for making sure that the project is in alignment with the business value, and you focus on making sure the end result is exactly what your client wanted. Yeah. So, and it depends from again, if you work at a small business, they might hire you as a senior PM, but then bring you on all of the strategy meetings. So tread lightly, right? Just know your place, that even though you're involved, they might just involve you because they want you to make sure that you're integrating those strategy points within the project. Great questions, Mason. I'm looking forward to having you in class as well. For those that are interested in joining a PMP class, I guess, or really a lot of the trainings that I offer have to do with project management and how to really build the skill set. So there's a link of all of my upcoming classes. If you like any of those classes, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help. So with 3 more minutes left in our webinar, I just want to say that stay tuned. I am going to have another webinar coming up in 3 weeks, and there's a couple of topics that I'm thinking about. So if you see it, register for it and share it with your friends. You know, if you have friends who are looking to be in this industry and want to build a profession, their project management profession, share the webinar with them, because I think it could be really helpful. If you missed any part of this webinar, or you want to listen to what I have to say, again, because sometimes I speak really fast, is live streamed on my YouTube channel. So go ahead and rewatch it on there, and then follow my page as well on the 3T Career Institute. Thank you so much, everyone, again, for joining. Have an amazing rest of the week, and thank you. Thank you, Mason. I'm glad, Weiss. I'm glad it was useful. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Jalal. Thank you for joining.